Happy Friday, everyone. It's the Friday edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We've got a lot to talk about as we shift our focus towards some wintry weather as we head into the upcoming weekend. But in the last 24 hours, we've had liquid precipitation, of course, and it's added up. We had another round of showers late this afternoon and into this evening, and this was on top of what happened last night. Pretty good lightning show last night at about 11:30, 12 o'clock or so. Some of the local rainfall totals definitely kind of highest in the heart of our viewing area, kind of in the center of it, with coming up on 3/4 of an inch of rain in downtown Youngstown, 0.61 in Boardman, about a half an inch, Berlin Center, Austintown, 0.85 in Alliance. As you go down towards East Liverpool, the amounts have been generally under a quarter of an inch, and under a quarter of an inch kind of north of Route 87 up in Trumbull County. Mercer's done pretty well, closing in on 1 inch over in Mercer. All right. The radar when I recorded this at about 7:30 p.m. looked like this, kind of a kicker line of showers moving through. The main band moved through about 5 o'clock or so, but we've had a little bit of lingering light rain, and as we go through the night tonight, there can be a spotty shower or two, maybe even a wet snowflake seen in a few spots at the start of our Saturday. I'll tell you, for a lot of the daylight hours, though, Saturday's not bad. We'll get into the upper 40s with some sun, but let's focus on what happens as we head towards evening, Saturday evening. This is a potent little system, compact little storm cruising through the Great Lakes, and I think this comes in as rain at first, right around maybe 5 to 6 to 7 o'clock. But I think fairly quickly we're going to see some mixing and then a change over to snow showers, and it's going to thump in some places, and the wind is really going to be howling tomorrow evening during the kind of 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. time frame. I'll talk about the winds a little more in just a second, and then the system pulls away for Sunday, maybe a leftover flurry into Sunday morning. RPM model here tries to bring some warm advection snow in Sunday evening. Not sure if I buy that just yet, but I do think there will be rain followed by some snow on Monday, and I'll talk about that in a little more detail in just a second. Computer modeling definitely honing in with pretty good agreement here on an inch to inch and a half. Now, this is for Vienna, where the airport is. I think this is fairly representative of what the models are spitting out kind of across the I-80 corridor on north. This is what we did with the snow map. Showing the possibility of up to 2 inches from Kinsman, Farmdale, on over towards Greenville, Sandy Lake. You might see 2 inches, especially in the non-paved surfaces up there. For the rest of us, a coating and maybe even an inch in some places, particularly from Route 30 on north. The accumulations with this late Saturday evening into the overnight will be primarily on the non-paved surfaces. The ground is warm, but it is coming at night, and I do think it's going to snow pretty hard for at least an hour. And so some of the secondary roads particularly could start to get a little bit slick. Air temperatures will be above freezing for a lot of this, so I think the main roads will be just fine. If you're out and about first thing Sunday morning, I think the roads will be just fine by that point. All right, the winds will not be an issue tonight or for a lot of the day tomorrow. It'll be breezy. But notice what's happening tomorrow evening as our clipper starts pivoting down to the south and east. Out in western Ohio, they're gusting to 40 to 50 miles per hour. Lima, Toledo, Columbus. The worst of the wind here will be as we see that rain change over to snow later in the evening. We could see some gusts to 40 to 45 miles per hour right around 10, 11 o'clock in the evening, and it'll stay pretty blustery right into Sunday morning. The National Weather Service does have a wind advisory out for the counties off to our west. This includes Cleveland, Mansfield, and down towards Columbus. I wouldn't be surprised if they extended this wind advisory east as we get closer to tomorrow evening. And there's also a winter weather advisory up in northwest PA and to southwest New York. There's going to be some places up here that get 4 or 5 inches of snow out of this potent little clipper coming Saturday night and heading into early Sunday. And they'll get more snow early next week. This is Monday. I think Monday plays out with rain for a time in the morning. Change over to just some light snow showers or flurries in the afternoon, not expecting this to stick. But temperatures will actually fall on Monday. And again, this will be kind of an I-86 special from Jamestown, New York, over towards the Finger Lakes, Binghamton, Elmira, Corning, and then heading over into the Berkshires in Massachusetts. This is going to be a pretty good band of snow on Monday. I don't expect us to have too many problems with snow during that system. All right, I showed this on the news this evening. Our April outlook. Now, December was ridiculously warm. February was ridiculously warm, and March was the 4th warmest March we've had on record in Youngstown. April is, I think, going to be much more typical of a typical April. Temperatures probably fairly close to average when we add it all up at the end of the month. There's going to be some swings. We're in a cool period right now that's going to last at least probably 10 days. The end of the month probably warmer than average more often than the start of the month, but it should all iron out to be pretty typical, and this, pales in comparison to the last couple of months that have been very, very warm. The warmer than average temperatures are most likely in the west this month. As far as precipitation goes, no real signal here above or below average locally. Could be some dry weather across the upper Midwest and in the Northwest, and maybe a little rainier than average, as the rainy season might linger into the spring in some parts of the Southwest, including maybe Phoenix, Vegas, Albuquerque, and El Paso. So a little bit of a preview of April. It should all end up being just kind of typical, and our weather's been anything but typical over the last few months, so this will be a change. All right, more updates this evening, and of course tomorrow I'll be checking in on social media as we get ready for our windy and snowy evening. Candace will be in tomorrow evening in the Weather Center. Andrew will be in tomorrow morning on WFMJ Weekend Today. So if you haven't followed them yet on social media, be sure and do so, and they'll have you updated on the air as well. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you right back here for Weather Geeks on Monday evening.